He's in the top 5, top 6 in QBR and completions in the last 3 years of his career. He's got better. It's like wine. He's getting better. But I got something that I feel. As much as I know Ryan is going to help us win and he's going to be that guy, sometimes in football, it's all about the story. I feel a Kurt Warner type story happening with Tyler Heineke. I just feel if Ryan Fitzmagic miss just 1 or 2 games, he'll never get his job back again. I feel that Tyler Heineke would get in there and really become Kurt Warner of the Washington football team. Yes, the guy that comes out of nowhere that was bagging groceries that turns into a Hall of Famer. I gotta feel it.
How does that OG title make you feel to know that you had made an imprint into this fan base and things like that?
Oh, that's what it make you feel. Oh, you used to look at the guys like B. Mitch and Doc Walker, you Sonny Jurgensen's, and you like, man, they played and they was a part of historic teams, and all of a sudden, we didn't have any history. I think we brought a different energy to the city, and just having the luxury of playing with Sean T and playing with Santana, myself, Marcus, Chris Samuel. I think the guys, Smoot, those guys that was in that community meant so much. Even the unsung heroes, the Mike Sellers, the Rock Cartwrights, the Kerry Campbells, the list goes on. The people that was just embedded in the community and that meant well or did well. And then you have those guys that didn't do shit there that the community can't stand. So everybody came in, the guys that during my time, the LeVar Arringtons of the world that was everything community that participated, that was around the change to Dan and everything that had to go along with it. I think it was '05 or something. I just remember we had the city on fire,
Yeah, for sure.
And the Wizards was good. Just the sports period at that time, it was a memorable. It seemed like it was a longer run, but it was really like '05. '04. I think we showed some signs. '05, we had an opportunity. '06. Kind of shuffleboard, got injured. '07,
yes, sir.
We had another opportunity. And
I forgot.
I think everything with Sean just embedded us in the community. But
it's all good,
just for that short period. And,
let's get to it.
Let's get to it. The guys that was in that town, Karan Butler, Gilbert Arenas, Sean Stevenson. When you look at the imprint that the sports world left on the city of DC at that time, it was just a different vibe.
Come on, Canada driver.
There we go. My bad, took a little long. I had to do something on my other screen right quick. Here we go. Change this thing right quick. Boom. There we go. Welcome back to another episode of the Trap or Die podcast, provided to you by 214 Media. I keep forgetting that part. I am your host, Molly Mual. The good man Maul, Jamal Forrest, all that good stuff. Rise on the way. Rick is on the way. Nick is checking in right now. Nick, how you feeling, bro? Everything good with you? Yeah, and if you talking, you on mute. I don't think you know that.
Yeah,
I was clear his throat.
Can you hear me?
Nah, I can't hear you.
All right, that's a bet, man. I'm feeling great, bro. I got a little 27-minute nap before I pulled up, so I'm feeling good, bro. A little
27-minute nap.
27 minutes.
Well, you don't even be doing nothing in the day.
Nah, real shit, bro. I don't know what happened. I had ate some kava and got damn tired, and I was like, bro, I gotta put some Z's real quick, bro. So 27-minute nap. You know what I mean?
Now I'm here. 27-minute nap.
Any more? I'd have missed the show.
Hey, Rod, just checked in, man. Rod, how you feeling, bro? Everything good with you, dog? It looked like you ain't get a chance to take a shower or nothing.
Rod, dirty boy.
Hold on, Mars. I'm going on my. Hold on, bro.
You said you had dirty boy, bro. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. I've known Rod. I've lived with Rod for like what? 6 years. No, Rob, bro.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, what you say now?
Nothing you already, nothing you already
said
don't know.
ride. He said ride, dirty boy. I was like, hold on, bro. That don't sound too good.
Anything you got to listen from Nick, bro, please don't listen to it, bro. All right?
Yeah.
All right.
Remember, I lived with this man 6 years. I know, right?
What was it? The 20, right? It was the 20.
And what are you
I forgot
saying?
where I stayed.
And Dutch. Dutch, bro.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Dutch too. My bad.
You know
That
what I'm
what? It's what now?
How you feeling, bro? How you feeling, bro?
He said you dirty, bro. That's what he said.
You're a dirty boy, man.
He said you a dirty
I done
boy.
said, right. I ain't gonna put it out there. Go ahead, man. Start the show.
Nigga, what are you talking about, bro? You about to blow me.
Nick high, bro. Nick high. That's all.
Start the show.
I'm sitting here trying to check. I'm sitting here trying. So basically, what happened? This is just so weird, bro. I was saying, I said it looked like you ain't take a shower, bro. Cause I thought you had that stuff on when you got there.
It's a different hoodie, bro.
All right,
this a Nike Tech.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
You got that for Christmas, right? Got that for Christmas?
Next.
Wow.
All right. Hey, let's get to it, man. So joining us on the show today, it's Chris Carter, man. Hall of Famer Chris Carter. You know him. Played for the Vikings, played for the Eagles a little bit, things like that. So he's going to join us in probably about a half an hour. And if you made it this far thinking that I was playing, I am.
Thank
Chris
you,
Carter
bro.
is joining us, though. Chris Carter is joining us, though, man. A good man. Covers all Pittsburgh sports, all levels of football. And he's the host of the Locked On Steelers podcast. So he'll be joining us shortly to talk about Steelers and Chiefs. Obviously, the Steelers 2021 season. It was crazy. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Heading into the last week of the season, I didn't even know. Hold on, let me check the comments. What's going on, Jaren? What up, bro? I should have checked the comments. But I was saying I didn't even know heading into the last week of the season that the Steelers were still even eligible for the playoffs. I didn't know that was a playoff game between Baltimore and Pittsburgh until all of the games were over, and I saw that Pittsburgh was actually in the playoffs.
It wasn't supposed to be a playoff game. I mean, basically,
Colts was supposed to win.
The Colts, they didn't even once the final score went in, and they found out that they had lost. I'm sure that word got to the sidelines, and you could tell that the game just, I don't know, it got hella competitive. People started playing harder. You could just feel like it was a shift in the game. So I think it was all because the Colts. Yeah, I was watching it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to see it. Obviously, you all know I was wrapped up in watching football game, so I didn't get to see much of any other thing, unfortunately.
Hold up, the Steelers in that 4 o'clock window?
They was at the 1. They was at the 1 o'clock. They was going on with Washington. So I was barely being able to see it. But thank God, Washington season is over, bro. I can't wait till these playoffs, bro. But let's go ahead and get into it right quick. Rye, your team won this weekend. Nick, your team won this weekend. Rye, your team barely won. Shout out to Davis Mills, man. I like him. But talk about your situation. I know y'all got the bye week, man. So the floor is yours. You got the first comments of the evening here today about your team and how proud you are of them making it further or making it far enough than the Dallas Cowboys. So you got that full.
Yeah, air a little different over here. We already in divisionals, so something a little different. But as far as the game Sunday, we was up on the boards 21-0. Felt like we about to run away with the game somehow, some way. Let them back in. Don't know how. I think we just got lazy with the schemes.
That's the Titans way, bro. That's the Titans way. Go ahead, man.
Titans way is number 1 seed. So if that's the way, call it what you want. We let them back in the game. Davis Mills, in my opinion, is much better than what people give him credit for. I think he's underrated. I think he is good. I think he's good. Amendola was cutting up on. We had a few injuries on cornerback again. Christian Fulton went out. we had like a backup checking Amendola. They just found a connection between Mills and Amendola. I think Amendola finished the game at like 100 plus, 2 TDs. Like he was doing his thing. But Ryan Tannehill, at the end of the day, willed us to a win. He's AFC Player of the Week this week. I think he was like 287, 4 TDs. He made plays when we needed him to make plays, and that's the kind of quarterback I think I'm going to need in these playoffs. I mean, granted, we get Derek back, which is a huge boost, even though we still had a decent run game with him out. But, of course, it's going to be that much better with him in it. So I'm happy we locked up the number 1 seed. I mean, it feels good, but it means nothing if you don't take advantage of your opportunity. So I'm looking forward to whoever we play. Obviously, we play the lower seed or whoever comes through, and I'm anxious, bro. I can't wait.
So the way things are set up, I mean, obviously y'all don't want to see clearly. Y'all are looking at. I guess we'll get into it because I don't want to talk about it right now. We'll get into it. Nick, the floor is yours. You guys put a 50 burger up on them boys in Philadelphia. Talk to us about your outlook, especially against the San Francisco 49ers coming up.
Little pick me up game. You know what I'm saying? Try to get the wheels spinning for the offense. Versus the Eagles, they really ain't had nobody out there. You know what I'm saying? They was trying to rest people, which they was gonna be 7C regardless, most likely. So they did what they did, bro. I was just happy our offense looked like it did versus sorry people. Because if we was sputtering and like looking like some shit versus backups, I'd have been highly upset going into this game. 49ers, we stopped Debo Samuel, we win the game. It's that simple, bro.
But it's not that simple.
No, I'm just saying that's the formula. We got some way, somehow. You just gotta stop 19. If you gotta step on somebody's ankle and roll his, it is what it is, bro. You gotta somehow get 19 out the game. That's it, bro. And I know Jimmy G gonna give us at least 3 picks. That's automatic. So that's it, bro. It's come down to would Dak show up, would Jimmy G show up, and may the best whoever, hopefully the good Dak show up, and the Jimmy G I know show up. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens, bro. It's up in the air. I can't trust this team, bro.
My boy Jerry said the Niners finna win. So
just because Jerry said that, we about to win by 15.
You don't even believe that.
Sorry, you don't believe that, bro.
You don't even believe that, bro.
I think we can. Last year we beat these niggas without. I think it was without that. I believe.
You talking about last year, bro?
Hold up, bro. Same thing. We ain't got that many.
Bro.
Got that many different people. Only person different is Michael. Keanu.
Hey, the Niners is gonna be a good matchup though, bro.
It is gonna be a good matchup, and I'm looking forward to the game. But you can't just walk into the game because y'all won last year that you got an advantage this year. That don't mean nothing, bro.
I didn't. All I said was it's gonna be a good game, and we'll see who show up. That's all I'm gonna say.
So who your biggest concern on that team? Like given it y'all makeup, like y'all knowing what your defense is, knowing what your offense is, who's the biggest concerns for them boys?
19. That's it. Only person I'm really nervous about is 19. I feel like everybody else.
First of all, y'all ain't got nobody to cover 85 either, so don't act like that's the only person you're concerned about. And
like for real, only person I'm worried about is
Brandon Ayuk. That's another person you need to worry about.
Well, Jimmy G got to be upright, you know what I'm saying, to get them boys the ball.
Granted, and mind you, you better hope Parsons ain't rushing on 71 side. You better put him someplace else. He not getting off on that boy. I'll tell you that right now.
We'll find ways to scheme up Parsons with some guard that's some trash and he 1-on-1. He go.
I don't disagree.
Trust me. Whoever that weak link is in the middle of the O-line. You know what I'm saying? We got the pass rush moves. I'm not tripping about Parsons. Parsons probably get 2 sacks.
2 sacks? Oh, wow.
For sure.
For sure?
Oh yeah,
Damn.
we only have problems with moving quarterbacks, stationary guys like Jimmy G.
Jimmy G a little more mobile than you give him credit for, though.
All right. He got mid
I mean,
wheels.
Jimmy G also last game, even though he didn't look so good with the bad pick to Ramsey on the red zone, definitely still played a solid game. I mean,
Oh,
if you watch
great
the whole
game.
game, he balled. I mean,
You know what I
that last
realized though?
possession, bringing them down and scoring that touchdown, that was
What
big, bro.
what Willie T said versus what Willie T said was totally true. Every pick I was seeing Jimmy G throw was literally, it might be like on a slant. It's like some type of anytime you see like a safety, bro, or like he try to throw over the linebacker, he try to do more than he's supposed to, it's a pick. So oh, by the way, Matt Stafford, I know y'all me call it pick six. He ain't throw a pick six, but the very next drive he threw a pick.
That joint was so
They got some
frustrating
shit.
because I just knew I was about to go 3-0 this weekend, and then
I'm
all of a
0 for
sudden,
3.
Damn,
then all of a
hate to be
sudden,
right.
yeah, nah.
Niggas
Then
be
all of a
niggas be
sudden, them
acting
boys
like
started storming
Stafford.
back, bro.
Niggas be giving
What? Like Stafford what?
Stafford such a hard time, but the nigga numbers is ridiculous, bro. Like I mean, you talk about Stafford and his pick sixes, but the nigga got 41 TDs, 17 picks,
Stafford a dog.
4,800. So
Only thing I'm saying is these games that they've had, a lot of these games they shouldn't even
and
be
they
fucking
12
close.
and 4.
Yeah, a lot of these games.
What they
Ravens
finish, Paul?
game 12-5.
You said what? What'd you say? Are you talking about the Rams record?
Yeah, Ravens game should have been close. It was a couple games at the end of the season, bro. He was just, the picks are just atrocious, like god awful. I don't know what he be thinking, especially the deep jump to Odell. He just threw that shit up. He do that shit this week, guaranteed.
Odell could have better on
Eric,
that route.
do not give this nigga no credit. He was,
bro. Bro. When the pick was looking like it was about to hit the ground, Odell was still running. At that point, bro, you see,
mute Eric.
He said, Rick, you know your camera not on.
Yeah.
Go ahead, finish your thought.
Oh no, that was it. That's all I just.
No, I was talking to Nick.
I just said, as a vet, bro, you can adjust for that pass. I'm not saying it was a perfect ball, bro. Like, yes, it could have been a better thrown ball, but Odell also
overthrown.
He could have stopped running. No, it was underthrown.
It was underthrown.
He kept running. He ran past the ball, bro. He was still running.
Yeah, but my thing is, I understand what you're saying, Rick. It makes sense. But
you running full
once
speed,
your momentum,
bro.
I'm about to say, once you full speed,
Eric,
going in a certain direction. I'm about to say you play receiver, bro.
Eric, what's our quarterback name?
Bro,
Jeff, what's his name?
Is Odell didn't make no type of adjustments, bro. He just turned around, fool. He could do more. That's all.
Eric,
listen,
what's our quarterback name?
Once you digging, trying to get up the sidelines, up the field, digging on a go route, and you look, they teach you not even to look up until you gotten a certain amount of yards.
That's his name. Hold up, Eric.
My man Jerry said Rams is one and done, bro.
Might be.
Weather ain't finna make a difference. That's what I was gonna talk to y'all about though. About the wild card weekend, man. One of the things I was gonna ask was just which of the higher seeded teams. I guess we can take it and make it just more broader. But I was gonna ask which of the higher seeded teams was more likely to be one and done this weekend. So that would have been between the Chiefs, Bills, Buccaneers, and Cowboys. Like where y'all at with that? Hey, no bullshit. Hey, the Cowboys is mine. It's between Cowboys and Patriots, but you know, I got the Bills going to the Super Bowl, so I can't pick against Buffalo, so I'm gonna go Dallas.
That Bills game is gonna be actually kind of good for real. I ain't gonna hold y'all.
What do you say, Brett?
As much as I don't want to say we going. I mean, as much as I want us to win, it's these type teams we lose these games, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have loved to play like the Rams or the Cardinals or something like that, bro. Because it's just something about these teams, bro, that's got this good defense, bro, who are consistent when it comes to running the ball. What we're bad at, they are very good at. You know what I'm saying? Vice versa as well. But I was just happening to looking back, bro. I was watching this. I was watching a lot of highlights, bro, press conferences, bro, just like of the games that we lost and just what the players were saying and stuff like that, bro. And the common theme I was hearing, bro, is that we got out physical like physical. Like that's all people kept saying. They just kept saying it over and over and over and over again, bro. And I'm just sitting here thinking, like, damn, bro. Not only do the 49ers run the ball, but they play bully football. And if the 49ers go up this weekend, bro, if they go up by a tub, bro, 10 points, bro, we gonna get off. Y'all remember I told y'all, bro, we like 30-0, 30 and 31-0, bro, when we run the ball more than we pass the ball. If we get to the point where we just got past the ball, bro, we gonna get bounced. Because their defense is solid, fool. So I think it might be us, bro. As much as I don't want to say it, bro, I think it might be us, bro. Us or the Pats, like Maul was saying. I got the
the Pats ain't. I'm saying it's Chiefs, Bills, Bucks, Cowboys. Those are the top 4 seeds.
Okay.
So you don't have to say Dallas. You know, it's the Chiefs. Let me pull up the schedule. Hold on.
I'm about to say that's probably what I need to see, like who the matchup.
I'm gonna pull up the schedule. So we got. Oh my lord.
I'm gonna cover the camera on a little bit. I was just
Bengals. I'm sorry. The Bills play the Patriots. The Chiefs play the Steelers. Who was the other thing? The Buccaneers play the Eagles, and then Dallas plays the Niners.
Who the Bengals play?
The Bengals play
the Raiders. That's not they're not the top seeds though, but yeah, that's Bengals and Raiders.
That's gonna be a good game, bro. That's gonna be a great game.
That Pats Bills game about to be lights, that boy. Oh my goodness.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is, boy. Belichick about to. You think the Bills about to go in there and blow the Patriots out?
No, I mean, no, that's not what I'm saying. I just don't think that's gonna be like a great game. I just feel like it's gonna be a little boring. Yeah,
I don't think
it's gonna be boring.
Like it's gonna be low scoring. I mean, it says 0 degrees, so you know.
0 degrees. Oh my god.
They said the high
is gonna be boring.
The high is 0.
I mean, just based off. I mean, I just feel like they like to run the ball against each other. Josh Allen does bring a different element to the game. So I mean, I feel like maybe I'm just basing off the last time they played when
Josh Allen.
The ball. I mean, I guess it was because of the win. So I mean, maybe I'm just probably overdoing it with what happened last time.
Rick, who told you it was gonna be 0 degrees?
Josh Norman. Oh, go ahead, Maul.
Rick, who told you it was gonna be 0 degrees?
It was an article. It was a tweet from BR Bleach Report. They would say the high is gonna be 0.
Damn.
Nigga, it's gonna be 35 degrees, bro.
It might feel like 0. You know how they be, bro.
Hold on. I'm trying to find a comparable. I really don't see it. It's 35 degrees.
Say 3 degrees.
Yeah,
I was just about to say. I definitely saw an article that said 0 degrees, bro.
What I can't even. Okay. Well, this don't say 35, bro. So I don't know. Maybe it's a wind chill or something like that.
I don't know. It's supposed to be that 8:15 game finna be. Yeah, that's finna be cold. Just know it was cold.
Who played the 8:15?
The Bills.
The Bills game.
Hey, just know it was cold as shit.
Yesterday
and the day before. I went outside, bro.
Nigga, it's been cold
much better
this entire week, bro. I'm upset.
It wasn't that cold today though.
Nah,
it was freezing yesterday.
Nigga.
Fuck that. You got to walk a dog this morning, dog.
Oh.
I hate that shit, bro.
I'd have told Dakota just come back whenever you ready, bro.
Hey, bro, I hate that shit, dog.
I got it.
But let me go ahead. Where's the other on that? So we have. I think it's gonna be Dallas, right? You said you think it's gonna be who? Dallas too?
Yeah, that's what I said.
You sticking with yours, Rick? You think it's Dallas?
I don't think we're gonna lose.
I mean, I don't see the Bengals losing to the Raiders. I don't see. I think it's more likely that the Bills are going to beat the Patriots than the Patriots are going to beat the Bills. Then it leaves Cowboys, 49ers, and what's the other game? Or is that it?
Bucks, Eagles. What's funny is though Eagles match up very well.
The Eagles, their game was close last time, wasn't it?
Nah, I don't think they played.
What, didn't they lose by a touchdown or something like that? They did. It was like 25-20 or something, right? The Bucks Eagles game.
They played this year?
Yeah.
I don't think so, bro. Eagles ain't played that many.
Bro, they played the Bucks, bro. I think they played the Bucks, bro.
Oh, they did lose 28-22.
28-20. So they lost by like a tub, bro. Shoot, that'd be a nice little upset. I think if it's a team that can lose like that, it's the Bucks for sure. Man, just going off the games, just going off the tough games that we played, bro, with good defenses, fool. We just gotta come out and show out, bro. We gotta come out and show out. I don't want to jinx this, bro. I'm gonna just say the Bucks, bro. I ain't gonna jinx this, bro. I'm
115, one interception.
This is on a terrible piss poor. 26 passes.
What y'all talking about?
Looking at the stats from that
Jalen Hurts
game, each other.
I wonder who's
It
gonna
is. It's a
start too, bro.
whole
They gonna
weekend of
start Minshew.
revenge, bro. A whole weekend. I forgot that Philly played Tampa Bay. I ain't gonna lie to you though.
I wonder if they're gonna start Minshew, bro. I like Minshew at quarterback.
They not about to
Hell no,
start
they ain't gonna
Minshew,
start
bro.
Minshew.
I mean, I
What's
feel
his
it.
name?
I feel
Isn't Hurts like a Pro Bowl alternate or something like that?
I don't know.
I
What?
think he is.
That's
I think
not
Jimmy said that. I think Jimmy.
It's not
said
no goddamn stat. Jimmy was reaching like shit. I don't want to hear about no
about,
Pro Bowl alternates, bro.
but Jimmy is. You know, Jimmy going to the playoff game now.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's lit. I mean, shit. If Dallas was closer, I'd be at that motherfucker too.
Nigga, if Dallas
He
go to the
flying to
bowl,
Florida. He going to
yeah.
Florida for it.
If Dallas
You
go
said
to the
what?
bowl,
He flying to Florida.
I'm flying to SoFi.
Oh, the game is in. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
You know, his
Dallas
B-Day
won the
13,
division, Rick.
so be there tomorrow.
I don't know if you knew that.
What you say, Molly G?
I said Dallas won the division. You know, so they got to play in Tampa.
Yeah.
All right. So there was one thing that was left for us to discuss before Chris came through, man. We did our power rankings. We're gonna say beat the odds for after Chris. I was right and I was wrong. We're supposed to do this once a month, but for me, that's the one thing that's hard to keep up with. Fellas, off the top of y'all head, one thing y'all was right, one thing y'all was wrong about with the 2021 season. For me, if I was right about one thing, I didn't put too much thought into this. Now that I think about it, it's hard because like how many things did I say was gonna happen in the beginning of the season? For me, I think the Bills would be a layup suggestion. I'm gonna pass it off to one of y'all first. One thing y'all
sure.
was right or wrong about.
What thing we were wrong about?
Right or wrong about?
I'll do both. So I walked into the season thinking we win the AFC South. We won it. I also one thing I was wrong about. Really, it's a couple things. I would say I thought the Jacksonville Jaguars would be a better competition in the South this year, AFC South. I thought,
that's a good one.
With Urban coming in and Trevor Lawrence, I really thought that they would be a more competition this year. I was really not looking forward, but just anticipating matchups being a little bit difficult. But of course, they didn't have a good season. They're still number one pick all over again. And I also was wrong about Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I thought they would put out Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. I thought they would put out better rookie campaigns than they put out this year.
I'm glad you brought that up. So I got mine's is all dealing with the quarterbacks, man. I was wrong about Trevor Lawrence. I mean, Zach Wilson. Like that was my guy heading into the jump. I like all three quarterbacks, and I'll get to them. Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones. But I was wrong about Zach. And we're gonna get Da back on for the Jesters to talk about how that season went for Zach. Because that shit was wild. But secondly, I was right about Mac Jones. I think you were in the same boat with me too. Mm-hmm. I wasn't really hearing a lot of people clamor about Mac Jones, and the reason why I have familiarity with him is because Washington was in the need for quarterback, so I had to look at him. And a lot of people turned their nose up at Mac Jones because of what he didn't have, but they didn't look at what he did have, and clearly he's had his up and downs this year, but he's had a lot more ups. So right and wrong about Zach Wilson, and Mac Jones.
Where's Nick?
Yeah, one thing I was right about, Browns go where Baker Mayfield goes, and they went their ass right home. Bro, he fucking sucks. Another thing, what I was wrong about, though. Oh, another thing I was right about. Actually, no, what I was wrong about was Micah Parsons is going to get eight sacks. He got more than that. Exceeded my expectations.
You named that? You named
it? Just blew me.
That was in the first episode, or like right before the season. I said Micah Parsons.
So let me ask you, not to cut you off. Did you anticipate Micah Parsons actually blitzing as much? I mean, rushing as much as he rushed this year? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just think saying 8 sacks for an inside linebacker is a lot.
Well, I'd be at the star. So I saw the packages we had put in place. It was like, oh, we're gonna get this guy some, see what he looked like. You know what I mean? Then I saw the tape. I was like, I was trying to tell him where we could use him at, and it was like, that's a great idea, Nick. Let's try it out. First couple games it worked out, my boy.
Yeah, I remember that call, Nick. I remember that call.
Oh, you was on the same calls? You was on the same
I
call?
wasn't on the call. I was with Nick. I wasn't on the call. I was with Nick. I ain't had those rights. Nick had it. You know,
I was on the call.
Nick
Rick was in the background trying to give me a little feedback, little licks and stuff here. But yeah, bro, I did say that though. I said Mike was going to give him 8
to pick. Oh, go ahead. Finish.
And what else is that was kind of it for real. I kind of was iffy on the Cardinals. I was like, they ain't probably gonna be that good. They got these old people. You know what I'm saying? Well, AJ Green still suck, but you know.
I know Kyler Murray is sick. Dallas, he has to throw the AJ Green and not D Hop this postseason, bro. I know he is sick.
That's a good game, bro.
What I was right about, I say about the success Diggs is having this year. I didn't call how many picks he was going to get, but I did. From last year, was kind of touching on how this is going to be Diggs' year for real. Same thing with Stafford. I kind of had to. I feel like everybody kind of felt the same way about that one, but I felt like he was going to go to the Rams, man, and he was just going to show who he really is. You know what I'm saying? He's been loyal to the Lions and didn't really have too much success there, and came to the Rams, man, and instant success. As far as what I was wrong about, I would just say the scans, man. I've been kind of waiting for our division to
I remember that too, bro. He kept. I just knew like it was just nothing. He thought for the longest we were gonna turn the corner. I was like,
yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. I thought the scans was just gonna be. I thought this was gonna be the year, bro. The scans was gonna scare people a little bit. So
I did too, honestly.
Yeah, and they didn't really do what I expected them to. I mean, of course, injury, COVID, all that stuff plays a factor.
Nah.
I mean, it really is. I mean,
suck, bro. I said that.
So there's two things.
It's just a lot.
What Rick is providing, they aren't excuses. Those are legitimate reasons. But also, the truth also is Washington just wasn't good.
They suck,
It's
bro.
two things.
Say it. You gotta say it like that, Mar. Washington.
Shut up.
First off, Nick, I talk about my team all the time. What do we not do on Wednesdays?
Talk about the skin.
We don't talk about them motherfuckers. We don't talk about them. All right. So listen, like I said, we got the good man Chris Carter checking in with the fellas tonight. Chris Carter is a superstar in Pittsburgh who covers all of Pittsburgh football, all levels, and is the host of the Locked On Steelers podcast. Chris, appreciate you joining us tonight, my man. How are you feeling? Everything good?
Doing just fine. Just finished recording the crossover Thursday, talking Steelers Chiefs with our Locked On Chiefs host. So it's been an exciting week. Lots to talk about, and I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me, fellas.
He got a professional voice, boy.
I'm about to say he got the podcast voice.
He got the podcast voice.
That's serious.
We knew it as soon as he started talking. You know what I'm saying?
Got the Sirius XM joint, boy. I thought I was
Hey, so Chris, let's talk about one thing. No, everybody, I want us to have this conversation because I was saving a couple of questions for Chris so we could talk about it. What do you think about some of the Black Monday firings? Obviously, Monday in itself, the Black Monday isn't necessarily a good thing. Let's go ahead and get past that. It's not a good thing. People losing their jobs, all that stuff. But the ones that surprise you, the openings that surprise you, or something that provided some golden opportunities for some potential head coaches. What's your take on the openings that's happened so far?
I mean, all the ones most of them didn't surprise me. The only one was the Dolphins. I still don't get Brian Flores being fired. You look at what he did. He took a terrible roster where people literally didn't want to be there anymore. Minka Fitzpatrick said, trade me. That's how the Steelers got him. And then he turned it into last year, winning record. This year, winning record. And you see him to have that quick turnaround without elite quarterback play. Tua, they're still trying to figure out what they want to do with him. Their offensive line has been terrible. They've had some bad draft picks there. He's trying to manage it. And in 3 years, you get rid of him? Unless you had some prior agreement, which the rumor is they're setting up the spot for Jim Harbaugh, and they're pretending like they're going to interview people so they can appease the Rooney Rule, and then they'll hire him anyways. But like, if that's your one thing that you're setting up, okay, maybe. But if I'm an NFL head coach or a potential NFL head coach, and I see what just happened to Brian Flores, why would I go to Miami if I'm like, man, you handed him a terrible roster where no one wanted to be there. In 3 years, he gave you your only back-to-back winning season that you had since like 2005 or something like that. And you got rid of him? What, if I'm a head of a coach, why would I go there? Because then what's going to happen to me? I get you 2 playoff wins in a row and then you cut me? Like that's why I've always preached there's a lot of Steelers fans in Pittsburgh that want Mike Tomlin gone. They're like, oh, he's terrible because he hasn't won a Super Bowl in since 2009. I'm like, I'm like, do you guys see what all these other teams? The
grass ain't always greener.
Right, exactly.
Speaking from the skin,
the Lions, the Browns, all these teams, the Dolphins right now. When they go through coaches like that shows me instability. And then the good coaches, they don't want to go there all the time. And even when they go there, they can't set things up because they don't have longevity. To me, that was the biggest mistake there. I'm glad Joe Judge is gone. I didn't understand how he was holding a job in New York. He should have been gone a while ago.
He lost his job when he ran those 2 quarterback sneaks back to back. I don't care what it looks like in terms or what the reality is. Like, I know your quarterback sucks. But if you're going to sit there and run 2 quarterback sneaks on 2nd down and 3rd down, it's time for you to go. So I think there's one thing. Yeah, I think there's one thing that's kind of, and I guess we can move forward to the playoffs itself. But there's one thing that's kind of stuck to me. I think, Ryan, you sent it to the chat. The Flores conversation regarding his relationship with Tua and obviously management. Now, I don't know whose side put that out there so it can be reported. I don't know. I would imagine it's clearly the Dolphins side. But they said that the relationship just soured over time. And essentially the working relationship just didn't make sense for Flores and the Dolphins anymore. So that's kind of where those things went about. So I'm going to ask you all, do you believe it? But secondly, if you do believe it, does it make much more sense now to just separate ways and go on about your day, even though, clearly Flores was winning in Miami? I'll leave it there. Anybody can take that, it's always open floor.
I'll just go. I don't believe it, bro. I just think they try to come up with anything. And if that was true, I think Flores probably expected more out of Tua, and Tua can give it to him. That's the only way I can see that relationship being hindered or something, bro. It don't make no sense to me, bro. Flores is a player's coach, bro. He's for his players. So all of a sudden, their starting quarterback isn't that guy. And he gave him a shot when Ryan Fitzpatrick was doing well. He didn't have to put the boy in the game. So I'm like, that don't make sense to me.
I think that's what really led to his firing, if you ask me. I think now that's just my opinion. I'm not sure exactly what the real situation is, but I know at one point throughout the season they were saying that the Dolphins really wanted to get Deshaun Watson. So I don't really know, and I know he was very open about his support for Tua and how he felt like Tua would get the job done. And I feel as though maybe the organization wanted them to go after Deshaun Watson. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like his trust in Tua is what might have led to his firing. I don't know. Well, I mean, that's just my outside personal opinion, but I mean, that could not be.
Yeah, I mean, we're all outsiders. It's all good. Okay. Chris, you got an opinion on this one?
I mean, one thing that often happens in these situations is if you're the management, you're trying to come off like everything's fine. Like I was just saying, they don't want NFL coaches to look at this and be like, man, Brian Flores did a pretty good job. Why would I take this job? They want to make it sure like everything's fine. It was just like, hey, there were some differences in philosophies and how we should go about. But when this kind of stuff happens, there's something behind in the background that was in play. I do think that there was probably a disagreement. I mean, you saw Brian Flores at different points this season kind of being hesitant about Deshaun Watson and the future of Tua Tagovailoa. That to me plays a big factor as well. So if I'm if I'm the Dolphins and I'm just like, look, you know what? We want things to work with Tua, so we're a little scared to keep Brian Flores around. You try to wrap it up in a nice bow. But to me, this was, there probably was some disagreements, but we're never going to hear the real story until like years later if someone writes a tell-all book about what's going on with the Dolphins. But I can tell you as a person, I have friends that I've made across different things. The Dolphins are one of those organizations that their upkeep isn't as strong. Like I've talked to a friend of mine who was a trainer who worked in the NFL and went to different places, and they worked for the Steelers organization. And in the Steelers, everything is rigid. It's top notch. Like, when a player needs a medicine or prescription, you go to this. There's protocol. There's all these rules, and you have to abide by everything. Everything that they know. They know where every piece of item is, everything that they need is locked and recorded and everywhere. But then he went to Miami, and he said, like, when he needed a prescription, they told him to go to a cabinet. He opened a cabinet, and he said it just all these things started falling out of it, and some of those prescriptions were like 20 years expired. So like that's the I know that doesn't sound like that resonates with X's and O's on the field and draft picks, but believe me, organizational integrity does, and that's one of the things that the Dolphins haven't had for a very long time. So to me, I think Brian Flores was clashing with that culture because he was a bit more rigid and he forces a lot more things. And sometimes when you're in that business and you're in the GM position or the team president, you're like, you know what? If you don't want to heed to me being the top dog, I want you out of here. But they don't want to say that because then everyone knows you have an ego.
All right. So let's go ahead and get to some Steelers football. Right, I know you had a question. Was it was about Pitt?
About Pitt.
Yeah. Go ahead. You go ahead and start off.
So, Chris, like occasionally when we do have guests on our show who cover different teams, one question I like to ask, but judging by your shirt, I think you're all things Pittsburgh. I just, want to know if you were a fan of the team first, and not to ask like a long question, but I just want to know, like, what was your feeling coming into Week 17, as far as your playoff hopes and what you thought, that did you even think like you all had a chance to make the playoffs based off the game schedule and the Colts and the Jazz game, and also just your feelings at watching that Chargers and Raiders game?
Well, first of all, that's the first part of your question. I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, so I grew up a Steelers fan. I wear this because I did go to Pitt Law, and that's where I got my degree there. So, that's more so just that's my alma mater, and I do cover University of Pittsburgh's football team. But hey, when you become a reporter and you do shows, you learn to be objective. You learn to just be like, hey, this is what's going on. I just covered a Pitt basketball game last night, and they got smoked by Syracuse. So you're analyzing, you're breaking down, you remove that fan part of yourself, keep that in a box somewhere else, and do your job, bring analysis, bring the level-headed coverage. And then I think that's something that I've gotten a lot better at over the years that I've been doing this. So that's absolutely part of it. But did I think the Steelers could make the playoffs going into that Browns game in week 17? Yeah, I did. Simply because I've been saying all along, nobody's for real outside like the top two teams in the AFC. Everyone was falling all over the place. Even the Bengals, who won the division, they got smoked by the Jets earlier in the season. And I'm saying, like, man, they're going to be better in the coming years. But right now, they're still very young, and young teams often find ways to be inconsistent. And for me, that's where the Steelers had a chance. And I saw that Chargers team. I was like, man, that Chargers team ain't solidified. They're going to drop some games late. Sure enough, they did. And then it came down to that game where it was just going to be who didn't tie in the end. And then for the Steelers, I was like, you know what? The Browns, especially the Browns, the way that they talked trash after last year, I go to the practices, I talk to the players. They were ready for that game. They were like, you know what? We know that you may have 3 first overall picks on your roster. We know that this is supposed to be your Super Bowl year, but we're going to remind you who's been big brother, who's been the father in this division for a long time. And they went and did that. I mean, they beat the Browns. That Browns game in Pittsburgh was the only game the Steelers won by more than a single possession this season. And I think they wanted to prove it. So the big thing for me was then, could the Jaguars pull off an upset? I pointed out all week long heading into that Colts game, the Jaguars had not lost to the Colts in Jacksonville since 2014. So I said it's a possibility.
That's a crazy
It's a crazy stat. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, I wouldn't, I'm not going to say the Jaguars are going to win, but I'm going to say the Colts have not proven to me that they're a consistent enough team. And what did they show? They weren't, and they lost that game. So the biggest thing for me was, could they get that upset and could they follow through on their own? They did those two things, but I could not have predicted that that game was going to go down to almost a tie between the Raiders and Chargers, especially with the Raiders up 2 scores in the final minutes, giving up a 4th and 21 touchdown pass, and then giving up another touchdown pass as time expired going into that situation. It was just a crazy situation, but it was definitely fun to cover. Like, I love that's the thing. Covering sports is a blast. You get to cover amazing moments, amazing people. You get to see the way how players react to different points in their career. I had a pleasure of seeing Pitt rise to their first ACC championship in the history of the program. Seeing what guys who I covered last year who, we're talking about like, we hope to someday do this to now achieve it. That kind of stuff, I think it's great to write about, to talk about, and to put out there for fans to read and say, wow, what a story.
So Jarian mentioned, yes, right, Jarian, the Charger way. But for this team, this Pittsburgh team, it's not statistically, it's not pretty. Obviously not. I think bottom of the half on both sides of the ball. Are you all playing with house money? Do you think, is this like an expect, or did you all expect to be in a better place with Mike Tomlin, just from a production standpoint, but also just being able to win consistently? Obviously, making the playoffs, that's just the ultimate goal. But when you talk about how you all make the playoffs, did you all expect to be in a better place, or is it just a house money type of season?
Well, first of all, I want to point out I'm not the Pittsburgh Steelers. I simply cover them. So I'm not going to say I ain't make no playoffs.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
But talking about the Steelers, I do think that they're coming into this with a sense of, hey, we weren't supposed to be here. Like that's where they're looking at this from a sense of they're saying like, look, everyone counted you out. This wasn't. And listen, you look at their stats this year. They're the worst rushing defense in the NFL. Look at the next 9 that like of the top 10 teams that are there, or the bottom 10 teams in rush defense in the NFL. None of them are in the playoffs. They're negative 55 in point differential. You look, only the Raiders are a team that's in the playoffs with a worse point differential this season. But what the Steelers have done, as they have done since Mike Tomlin's been there, is they find a way to maximize their strengths and minimize their weaknesses in the games that they can win. That's why Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. When they can compete with a team, when they can drag you down and get you to play their style of football, which this year is defensive, create turnovers, make this about who can limit the amount of turnovers and who can create them, more on the other end. That's where the Steelers want to be. So, yeah, they're playing with house money. Ben Roethlisberger spoke at the Steelers facility on Wednesday saying, hey, people are counting us out. We're just going to go there and have fun. If I'm the Chiefs, I'm Andy Reid. I'm sitting in the locker room saying, do not overlook this team, because if you do, you're going to be sitting there with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter thinking, why are they only behind us by 4 points, or why are they up on us right now? That's what the Steelers have done to the Bills. They've done to the Titans, the 1 and the 3 seeds this year. That's how they swept the Ravens. That's how they swept the Browns. This is what the Steelers like to do this year. They know they don't have a good quarterback this year. Ben Roethlisberger's on his last legs. They know that that's the deal. They know their offensive line is one of the worst in the NFL. So then you got to ask yourself, how do you go from having a not a good quarterback with the worst offensive line, with the worst rushing defense, and all of that in play, and you had several injuries, no Juju Smith-Schuster, no Stephon Tuitt, no Tyson Alulu, TJ Watt missed multiple games, several players missed multiple games, Joe Hayden missed a month, all that, and they're sitting here with a winning record playing in the playoffs. I think that's what the Steelers look at, is like, we got here, they're going to believe in themselves. So if I'm the Chiefs, I'm going in and taking this just as seriously as I would if I was playing, the Green Bay Packers.
So you brought up a good point, and that was kind of heading to my next question about how you mentioned how the Chiefs would approach this matchup, but obviously in the rematch with the Chiefs for the Steelers, you all were missing some players, or excuse me, a player in particular. Actually, was Hayden gone? He was still out when you all played the Chiefs the first time, right?
I believe Hayden was gone, Freiermuth was out, and Deontay Johnson was out.
Okay, yeah, Freiermuth was the main guy I was about to bring up, because he's a talent. Out of nowhere, I didn't see him coming. Obviously, I'm not in the Pittsburgh area, but anyway, he missed the first matchup. What's one way, or the ways you would approach this matchup if you're Pittsburgh heading into that matchup or rematch against the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, one thing about the Steelers is that, a lot of Steelers fans will tell you this is just like the 2005 Indianapolis Colts, because if you remember way back when, Ben Roethlisberger's second season in the NFL, in the middle part of the season, they play Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, Edgerrin James, and that Colts team, and they get smoked. They get spanked in Indianapolis. Everyone's like, man, the Steelers, they don't stand a chance against them. Then they get them again in the playoffs, and everyone's thinking the same thing in a week. The Steelers, they don't stand a chance. They got destroyed by those guys. And what happened? They came out with some play action passes. They didn't, the Colts came in thinking, oh, they're going to use the bus. They're going to use Jerome Bettis on us. And then all of a sudden, Ben Roethlisberger, who at the time still needed to work on his accuracy, but he was floating passes down to his tight end, Heath Miller, who was a rookie, funny enough, back then. And they were able to create plays there. And they did just enough to get points on offense for its defense to get after Peyton Manning. To me, it's a similar look this year. Now, Ben Roethlisberger doesn't have the arm strength that he did back in 2005, but the Steelers do have a situation where defenses know Ben Roethlisberger loves to throw around the line of scrimmage or down the sidelines, but he has not used the middle part of the field. If the Steelers stand a chance in this game, it's going to take Ben Roethlisberger actually using the middle part of the field, and that's where Pat Freiermuth can come into this equation. If he can hit him down the seams, up the middle, that'll start to force linebackers like Willie Gay for the Chiefs to start to back up a little bit and say, hey, we actually got to protect behind us, and then that will give the offensive line a little bit of room to give Najee Harris space, because truly, I think in the next 4 or 5 seasons, Najee Harris is going to be the pillar of this offense. He's going to be what they build around, a bit better offensive line next year. They're going to make him the focal point, and that's where I see the Steelers going. So if I'm the Steelers, I'm going into this game, I'm saying, hey, Ben, let's catch him off guard a little bit. Let's hit him further down the field than people have been used to. And because what do you got to lose, man? This could be, if this is either your last game or this is a playoff win for you. So let's throw everything to the wind. Say let's do things people didn't expect of us. Catch this Chiefs team off guard. And then again, defensively, can you force turnovers? Can you limit their run game? Can TJ Watt sack Patrick Mahomes? He had cracked ribs the last time they played, and he didn't really have a game at all because you could just see he was wincing in pain every time. Since that game, he's had 5.5 sacks in 2 games. That's where the Steelers have to win. Do just enough on offense, and then defense, create turnovers, hit Patrick Mahomes, and get them in some predictable situations where your defense can prey on the pass. The one thing the Steelers do have this year, stat-wise, is pass defense. They're still a top 10 unit when it comes to that. And I think that's something that if they can stop the run in this game, that's the unit that could save them.
Fellas, I'm gonna go round table. I want Chris to answer this one last. So whoever wants to take a stab at this, go ahead. Percent chance, excuse me, that's actually the wrong way to start it. What level of confidence, if you had a scale of 1 to 10, do you all have in Big Ben, knowing how much you've seen from Big Ben this year and I guess years past, because Big Ben has been a little bit different. But what level of confidence do you have in Big Ben in the playoffs against the Kansas City Chiefs this upcoming Sunday?
I'll go first. Shockingly, bro, I'll give him a 7.3, bro. I honestly think
0.3.
I think he got a shot, bro.
Is it out of 10?
Yeah, out of 10.
Yeah, out of 10.
Out of 10, bro. He just know how to just pull some shit together, bro, and make it work in the fourth quarter. In the Chiefs, you just don't know what Chiefs you're gonna get, bro. They're very up and down. They might have a good first half and fuck around, give up the lead in the fourth. Yeah, bro. I give him a solid 7.3.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm probably like an 8.5. And I only say that, man, because that defense, man. TJ playing great ball, man. That's a very opportunistic defense right there. And what's it called? What's my boy name? What's Deontay?
Deontay Johnson?
That's my
Deontay
guy,
Johnson.
bro. He the best receiver on that team. I don't care what nobody say, bro. They might want to say Juju. They might want to say this. They might want to say that. That boy been balling since he got there, bro.
Is Juju still on that team?
He's on injured reserve.
Yeah,
I'm about to say.
Yeah, he hurt, bro. But that if them two can get on the same page, bro. Najee running the ball, bro. It could short field position for Ben. He don't got to throw the ball all the way down the field. Run game bumping. I think they got a chance to win that game, bro. It's fair game. And like Nick said, you don't know what Chiefs you're getting. I know they can't stop the run, so that kind of works in their favor. So we got it's gonna be a good matchup, bro. I think they can pull it off.
Where you at?
Can you ask me the question again, bro? Because I'm really trying to understand.
Just your level of confidence in Big Ben heading into the Chiefs game.
About a 6. You know what I mean? About a 6. only because Ben is just like their season. Like sometimes you look at Ben, and it's not even that, bro. It's not even that. It's just with Ben throughout the season. Like it's like sometimes you watch the game. It's like what's Ben doing? And I don't know if is Ben gonna come out here and have one of them games, or is Ben gonna revert back to the Ben that we all used to him playing. I feel very confident that Ben is gonna come out and execute the game plan, but sometimes Ben has just came out and not looked up to par. I just don't know. With them being on the road in Kansas City, like, can I count on Ben to lead them to a win? I don't know. You know what I mean? That's what I'm just saying. watched Ben on his whole career. I mean, I'm a fan. Even though I'm a Titans fan, I'm a fan of his. But I just don't know, bro. I'm gonna say 6.
Okay. So, Chris, I asked you for last mainly because of that question, but also Jarian in the chat mentioned, or he asked the question and just wanted to know what the plan was for how you all address the quarterback. So, moving forward. So, your level of confidence to get what you identified would be a successful plan. You outlined the plan against the Chiefs, but also like your level of confidence in Big Ben actually executing that.
I'd say about like a 7, a 6.5, somewhere around that range, simply because when you look at Ben Roethlisberger, he's never been the cerebral, I understand, read the X's and O's, I rip you apart every week type of guy. He's never been about, being the mindy quarterback that like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, those guys, they see your safeties, they immediately know, oh, they're in this coverage from 2 weeks ago. We're going to attack it this way because we practiced it. Ben Roethlisberger has always been instinctual. He's like, oh, okay, I'm feeling it with my guys, and this is the moment, and here we're going to do it. If you get Ben Roethlisberger, and again, this is why I was talking about bringing him down to your level. If you get him with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and this is a 3-point game, that's when he turns it on. And Mike Tomlin talked about this, after the Ravens game. He said, when other guys get tight, when other guys get, it's clutch time and they start to think too much, Ben Roethlisberger is always right here. He's who he's always been. And that's where you see his best weapon come out. And that's his instincts. That's him saying, you know what? I'm just going to play. I'm just going to be, backyard football. It's just about me beating you right in front of me. Forget all the X's and O's. Forget all this other stuff. We're going to execute right here and now. And that is a factor that has helped Ben Roethlisberger throughout his career, whether it was winning Super Bowl 43, throwing the last-second touchdown to San Antonio Holmes, whether it's been getting to 3 Super Bowls in his career, whether it's to winning all the divisions that he's won in his career. This is where he's been comfortable, and he's done it plenty of times. I think now with this last week that he passed Joe Montana for the most game-winning drives in NFL history. That's the level that he's at. So if you want to have confidence in Ben Roethlisberger, it's the Steelers setting him up to be clutch in the final minutes. If the Steelers can't get there, that's a different story. I don't think he's going to pull them into that situation. It's going to take defensive turnovers, maybe some special teams plays. They have blocked some punts. They've returned for touchdowns this year. And it's going to take other guys making big plays. But if they get Ben Roethlisberger to that moment, he can do the last push to get him over the top. And as for a plan for the Steelers, I'm as a guy who's covered Pitt, I think Kenny Pickett's a phenomenal quarterback that someone can take this year, because I don't think he'll last to the Steelers now, because now they're going to be picking like in the lower teens to the upper 20s. But when I look at this quarterback class, I look at Kenny Pickett as the best decision maker, and that's the factor that I would play into this class, because I don't see any, there's no Trevor Lawrences, there's no Josh Allens, no Lamar Jacksons that I see in this class that say, oh yeah, I want to grab that guy in the first round. But I do see also an opportunity for the Steelers to say, hey, you know what? We don't need a quarterback in the first round. Let's go get an offensive lineman in the first round and get your quarterback, maybe Carson Strong or Malik Willis in the second round. And if you do that, then you go into next year and say, okay, you got Mason Rudolph, you got your rookie quarterback, now sign a cheap veteran like Mariota or Nick Foles or one of those guys. It doesn't cost you a lot of money, and the Steelers will have approximately $45 million in cap space next year. It'll probably increase to 55 once they make some cuts. That's going to be the most money they've had in the past 20 years to spend on free agents. That means they're going to go after offensive linemen, defensive linemen, cornerbacks, linebackers, load this roster up so that next year when you're looking at quarterback, all you're saying is, hey, you rookie, you Mason Rudolph, you random veteran, we signed for cheap. It's between the three of y'all. Work it out, see who's the best, but none of you are going to be driving this team. This team is going to drive because we've reinvested the offensive line. Najee Harris is going to be a superstar running back. You're going to have Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool, and Pat Freiermuth, and that defense is going to have more players they've invested into it to become a top 5 unit in the NFL, and that is the Steelers' path right now. If they get Kenny Pickett, great. I think they'd be in a much better situation, but I think that they're going to be reserved and say, you know what? Let's wait another year and see when we want to invest to go get our quarterback. Let's rebuild the rest of the roster first.
Hey, Chase got to step up. He got to show out the playoffs, man. He got to. If Big Ben can get to the point where he's just dropping back like he was, I think it was like a week or two ago, they was just throwing it up to Chase and they didn't even care, back to back. I'm like, bro, that's how you're supposed to play with Chase. Like, Chase needs that repetition, like over and over. You got to keep throwing him the ball. Like, if they get to that point, bro, they're going to be dangerous, bro. They got a nice receiver core, man. Yeah, nice receiver core out there.
I also think in the pros.
I
Yeah,
also think
man.
one thing about Chase Claypool that people forget about is he is the most dangerous when he's over the middle. A lot of people just want to send him on go routes and say, "Hey, send him down the
Yeah.
sideline," because you see his height and his speed. But when you put him in the slot, he becomes extremely dangerous because then you don't have slot cornerbacks that are tall and strong enough to
Mm-hmm.
knock him off of his routes. And then you don't. And if you have guys that are tall and strong enough, they're most likely not fast enough to keep up with him. And
Exactly.
if he gets the ball in his hands, then he hits that straight line speed, and that's when he's the most
Mm-hmm.
dangerous. So I'm right with you. They
It's gonna be a
have
good
to
game.
unlock that a bit more.
It's gonna be a good game, man.
I hope so. I'd love to cover some competitive football.
Absolutely. I
So,
love watching it.
the best thing about what you said too, and the difference is because I do got some watching people that follow and listen to the All 32 side. The biggest important thing is when Chris says that they're going to get some guys on offense and defense and free agency to shore up their roster in certain holes. They can say that with a ton of confidence because their organization is 10 times more professional than Washington's for obvious reasons. And when you look at comparison's sake, how Pittsburgh does things, his example, what he mentioned with the Steelers and the Dolphins, training rooms and stuff and facilities versus how Washington does things in their aspects and how they handle oversight and management and stuff like that. It's a reason why everybody loves Pittsburgh and why Pittsburgh is so successful. So it's not going to be hard for them to attract free agents. Fellas, do y'all have any other questions before we go ahead and give Chris the floor to plug each and everything that he got going on?
I think Nick had a question. I think he wanted to go last, maybe unless I missed it.
Yeah, he kind of already answered. I was going to ask about Kenny Pickett. I thought he fits perfectly in Pittsburgh. They already know him. They see him every week. He knows Huntsville like the back of his hand. He's been there for 4 years, maybe 5 years. Do you think it's a good chance? Pitt is actually looking at him to bring him in.
I think that the Steelers would love to have him, but I think there's going to be teams that pounce all over him before they can have the chance in the NFL draft. One thing that you got to remember too, the Steelers and the University of Pittsburgh's football team have a very rare situation where they use the same practice facility. Like for me, it's a bonus because I cover both teams. So when Pitt's practice is over in the morning, I just walk over to the other field and there's the Steelers, and it gives me a chance to just do both of my jobs all at once. But Kenny Pickett, they know about him, and beyond his arm strength, beyond his ability to throw on the run and the accuracy that he's done here, everybody needs to know that Kenny Pickett is a leader. Early in this past season, Pitt lost to Western Michigan, a team that they should have smoked, and a lot of it was defensive. But Kenny Pickett, the very next day, called a team meeting, and he basically said in that meeting, "We are not letting this happen again. This is the year we're winning the ACC championship. We're not blowing it. We're going to focus on this, and this." And for the next 3 months after that meeting, all we ever heard from the players when I asked a linebacker or a cornerback or a running back about the questions, like, man, we remember what we were talking about with Kenny in that meeting, and that meeting lasted, like, it impacted the entire season. And through all of their tough games, you just saw Kenny Pickett just find a way to keep his composure, to stay focused, and then to get other guys to focus and buy in with him. You want that kind of leader in your NFL locker room. Even if he's not going to be Patrick Mahomes as far as a quarterback, I don't think he has the arm strength of a Patrick Mahomes or an Aaron Rodgers or those type of guys. He's not as fast as even a Josh Allen type of quarterback, but he's such a good decision maker and he's such a good leader, and he is accurate with his throws. That's where I look at and say, you know what? If I have a good offensive line, a good run game, a couple receivers that he could throw to, I could plug him in his rookie season and make things happen. But I don't think the Steelers will have a chance to, because I think there's going to be too many teams that see that leadership and say, hey, come over here. Like Washington, they need somebody to lead that team.
The boy about to be back on the map. You hear that, Nick? You know what I'm saying? Coming for your ass, boy.
Hey,
point to the side, Maul.
You know that.
Hey, Maul, y'all not smart enough to pick Kenny Pickett, so don't even worry about it.
Man, shut up. Hey, Chris, man, I appreciate you having us, or at least taking us up on our offer, excuse me, and joining us on the Trapper Dive as we previewed the Wild Card Weekend. Clearly, or what I should say is, this offseason, we can definitely have you back on just to have a more open forum about the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers as opposed to just the wild card game itself. But right now, just let the people know what you got going on, where they can hear from you, where they can read you. Anything is Plug Talk. The floor is yours.
Absolutely. Fellas, thanks so much for having me here. It's a pleasure. If you want more of my football and basketball breakdowns, I work on the Locked On Steelers podcast. You can Google that. I'm on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, all the different apps for free. You can subscribe Monday through Friday. We got new episodes on the Steelers every day. I also host the Locked On NFL podcast with your boy Koo of Locked On Raiders on Fridays. You can get us breaking it down, two brothers talking football each Friday on the Locked On NFL podcast. I also cover both the Steelers and Pitt football and basketball for DKPittsburghSports.com. But you can find all of that at my my Twitter and Instagram pages at Carter Critiques, as you see here below for you. If you follow me there, you can get all my content. I also work for our local NBC station. I do high school sports, fantasy football, all the things that you could need. Hit me up at Carter Critiques. Thanks again, guys, for having me.
Absolutely. I told you, the Pittsburgh superstar, man. He got everything going on.
They be busy, bro.
Absolutely.
It's busy. Right after this, I got more work.
I'm about to say, he told me, he said, look, man, I can do the Wednesdays, but just hit me up in advance because sometimes I got the basketball games. I got so much things going on. So I'm glad it worked out for us this week.
Thanks again, fellas.
Yes, sir. You take care, big dog. Be safe.
Yes, sir.
Already. So there is our guy, Chris Carter, the superstar of Pittsburgh. All right, y'all know what time it is, man. Let's go ahead and close out with the Beat the Odds. How do I share the screen?
Hey, Mo, you won last week?
Oh, yeah. Let me go ahead and help y'all out right quick. Let me share the screen right quick, though. Hold on. I forgot to do that. There we go. Yeah, I won last week, brother. You know I won last week, brother. I don't know why you asked that question. So, records as of now, 27-23 I am. That was so stupid. I said it backwards. But anyway, Nick is 29-21-1. Rod 22-28.
Damn. He sucked.
And Rick is 18-10 on the year. All right, so we got the games on the board. San Fran on the road against the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas are 3-point favorites. Vegas Raiders on the road against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are 5.5-point favorites. And the last game is the Rams against the Cardinals. The Rams are 4-point home favorites. So I'm going to go ahead and kick this one off with Nick. Dallas -3 versus San Francisco. Who do you got?
Dallas Cowboys.
All right. Okay.
And bet against these niggas, bro. What's wrong with them?
I know.
And Mo, you didn't win 2 weeks in a row. Me and Rod tied. It was money in the pot.
No, I said I won this week. I mean, if I said 2 weeks in a row, then that's my mistake. I meant to say I won this week, but the tie was the pot left over from last week. So that's what I was saying. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
So Dallas -3.
Just
all
want
right.
to clarify that. Yep.
All right, oh, my bad, Ryan. You up next.
San Fran.
That's what I like to hear.
It's a nigga that just went. He just went 0-3, bro. You gonna listen to him?
Yeah, that weak ass hat you got.
Nigga, I just won last week.
I'm about to say he
care,
tied,
boy.
he
You
tied the week
negative,
before.
boy.
You ain't win. You tied with me, bro.
Nigga, shut up. Y'all losing.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey,
Rick,
Rod,
where you at, bro?
who you watching the game with?
It don't matter. We already in the division. I'm not talking to niggas who gotta play this week.
Rick, where you at, bro?
You hear me, babe?
I really can't.
Control V.
Oh, all right. Control V, baby. There we go. San Fran +3.
You know what it is,
like
man.
that.
Come on, man.
I'm
Big
about to
step
go
of
ahead.
shit, man. Hey, shout out to my cousin, man. I don't know
You
if
gotta
you
do the
joined on the
same
show
thing
yet,
over
man.
there.
He told me to make sure I wear this hat on the show. You feel me? He got me this because of Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? He told me if I got more kills than him, he was gonna bless the boy. You feel me? So he went.
Oh, you
ahead
talking about
and
the
threw
shooter?
Yeah,
The
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
you know,
hey,
big step.
good
of
luck
shit,
with
you
that
feel
one.
me? You already know.
Oh,
how
did
we
you
get
actually?
down.
You got more kills than him?
Yeah. Come on, man. You know, I've been acting up on the duty lately, man. I don't know what it is.
Why
man.
y'all
I
ain't
sent a
tell?
little
I forgot
video
to
out.
switch it. I'm over here.
Little video out the other day, man. The
on,
boy
bro.
was doing crazy,
Here
man.
we
But I realized the things that Mual yell about sometimes that you could take lightly. You realize how important it is. I play with these other guys now, and I play with Trey and them, and Maul, they be having full blown conversations in the most intense battles, bro. And this is the most annoying shit in the world. I
Oh,
ain't even gonna hold
bruh.
you.
Wild
Hey,
story.
bro.
Today, bruh.
Oh
It
yeah.
was me,
It's funny
Darius,
because I know what you're about to
and
say. It was a good conversation, but I was like, bro, it's not the time. It's not the time.
it was me, Darius, and Maul playing earlier today, bro. And me and Darius we was talking for like a solid fucking 8
I was
minutes.
That should be
talking
the
too,
worst
but
part
when the
during
game
game,
started, I
bro.
stopped talking.
Yeah, we was talking from when we got in the plane. We was talking from like the pre lobby, everything. We was talking about $1 million worth of game. We was talking about the
Yeah.
podcast,
I ain't
all
watched
the
it yet.
drama.
Tony the closer.
No, we was talking about how Tony got put off.
I
Bruh,
ain't
I
watched
tell
it yet.
you, I forget.
We're not talking
We're
nothing
not
new.
talking about the show. We talking about the drama that happened with the people during the show. Like
Also,
Tony
you
the
said somebody got
closer,
kicked off. My bad.
Mona. You talking about how they got put off, and Maul was over here talking to us, but me and Darius is not paying this nigga no mind. Maul over there, Maul fighting the whole team. Me and Darius looting, talking about the jump. And I was like, oh shit, let's go. Maul's like, oh my god. I was like, oh my bad, Maul. My bad, bro.
Hey,
It
nah,
was a great conversation, though, bro.
it was a good conversation. I was interested. I was trying to figure out why he wasn't on the show no more, but you know,
Right, you like you about to
Hey,
take a mug shot, right? Turn to the side, right? Just turn to the side for me.
He's saying that cash app request. Nigga said, I'm sick of losing, bro.
Hey, just know Ralph's about to fight us in the gym today. Ryan won't talk to nobody. Ryan won't listen to nobody in the gym.
Oh,
bro.
So look, Cincy is the second game. Cincy is 5.5-point favorites. I'm gonna kick this one off. I got the Raiders. Give me the Raiders on the road plus 5.5.
Ma, why you taking the Raiders 5.5?
To be honest with you, bro, I don't really trust Cincy as good as they are on both sides of the ball. They are good. Rematches are different. That's the first thing. But secondly, what's important, I think, is just understanding the inexperienced aspect. Derek Carr, he hasn't been in the playoffs either. He led his team to the playoffs, but he got hurt the last game of the season. But I think inexperience is going to be an issue for at least the Cincinnati Bengals, and it provides an opportunity for a veteran and Derek Carr to kind of lead his team to at least competing and having a close game against the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm gonna go Vegas Raiders plus 5.5.
That's valid, man. That's valid right there.
Hey,
Snip.
Yeah, John Madden. Let me get the, you know what I'm saying? RP my boy. Let me get the Raiders, cause it's something about Derek Carr and the Raiders, bro. I don't know what be going on, bro. Like, y'all ever seen the movie Facing the Giants? That little Christian football.
The Giants?
Yeah, that little Christian football movie, bro.
Christian. Nope.
I forgot y'all heathens, bro. Don't even worry about
it. We got y'all heathens. Y'all don't watch that shit. Y'all want to listen to that secular shit.
Yeah. Gridiron shit like that.
I might be a lone wolf today, man. I don't know. There's something about that cigar smoking white boy back over there in Cincy, man. That boy just, as much as, and you know, it's crazy, Maul, you bring valid points, bro. You talking about the inexperience that it has, man. And me being a Dallas fan, bro, I'm starting to realize more and more, bro, how much experience that shit matters, bro. But he's been to a championship before. He knows what the atmosphere looks like. I mean, the playoffs is different, of course, but he's been in the big games. SEC guy. I think the Bengals could pull it off, man. The boys is playing great ball. I mean, when in doubt, bro, throw it up to Chase, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's doing the brick in the back of the end zone.
You may not be the lone wolf, bro. You know what I'm saying? Ryan ain't talk yet.
Nah, man. Ryan, man. Ryan's gonna go with Ryan don't want to see the Bengals in the playoffs with the Titans. So I think he's gonna go Raiders if I'm not mistaken. But I'm gonna let him talk. Cincy, I'm gonna tell you right now. Ain't nobody stopping Chase in that secondary. Landry can't do nothing with that boy. You drop back, throw that thing up.
Man,
hey, Jaron, you're right. I mean, Burrow never shied away from big games. That's a fact. But, you know what I'm saying? Playoffs is different.
And that's the only reason why I just got to go with
the dog too, but you know what I'm saying? That man had 30 incompletions on Sunday night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, the winner of this game
was so stupid, bro.
And before the fourth quarter started, he wasn't playing that good.
nigga.
He wasn't. He showed up at the end, bro. Right when they needed him to. That would have been actually a good game in the
What
playoffs,
seed
bro.
is
If it
Cincy,
was
bro? Hold up,
Chargers
bro.
Cincy.
It don't matter
Cincy, I
what
think,
seed
is
they
the
are. We
4
play lowest
seed.
seed. Whoever wins the lowest seed out of the weekend is who we play. So it doesn't mean
Right. Who do you want to see out of those two
I
teams
don't
if
care
you had
who
to
we
choose?
play. I don't care.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking it for the show purposes. I'm just
I mean,
asking
I
who would
really
you rather?
I
Who
really
would
don't
you
have a
rather if you had
preference.
to choose between the two teams? You wouldn't choose.
But we don't play. It doesn't. It's not for sure that we were gonna play the one of these two teams. That's what I'm saying. Like I can't really
Because
give
y'all
you a
play the
real
lower seed.
right.
Okay.
All right, so we got everything situated
Can't
with
wait
that
for the
game.
Titans to lose.
Lastly, the Rams and the Cardinals. They are they the Monday night game again. That's kind of funny. They was Monday night 2 weeks ago, or three weeks ago. Let me check. Where's that John at? Yeah, they the Monday night game again. I remember the first time Huh?
Go ahead, Marty G.
And I was gonna say I remember the first Monday night game when I bet all that money on the under, and them boys hit the over with 30 seconds left in the game. Literally, boy, I was heated, boy. Okay, so I'm gonna let this one get kicked off with Rick. You got the floor first. Rams -4 or Cardinals plus the 4. Who you got?
Man, I can't turn back on my boy now, man. I can't turn
The
back
Cardinals
on my boy.
can cover and the Rams can still win. You know that, right?
Well, for my sake and the fans' sake, Mo, can you just explain further? I know because it's -4, they have to win.
They just have to win by a certain number.
Right. So I'm just trying to see the cover part.
Cardinals covering just means that they lost by 4 points or less, or they won outright. The Rams -4 means they have to win by more than 4. They have to win. The Rams can. Right. I mean, the Cardinals can. The Cardinals can lose and still cover.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the Rams. I'm gonna go with the Rams, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Rams, man. Take the Rams.
All right, my foe. Right, you on the bowl? Who you got?
Rams.
Control C, Control V. All right,
boys,
where you at with this one, Nick?
Give me Arizona, bro. 8-1 on the road against the spread. 6-0 as an underdog.
Hey, you know what, Nick? I fuck with you, bro.
Hey, flip mine. I did not ask that. Let me get that.
This man, hold on. You said you
I like
with your boy,
what
bro.
You mean? What
you
mean?
Stafford.
I like the stats.
That man said one little number. You said change it.
100%. It was a good number. It wasn't a little number. 8-1 against the spread. What you say? Say it again, Nick.
8-1 versus spread.
8-1 on the road.
6-0 as an underdog.
6-0 is an underdog. I'm going with the cause, bro.
Either
Numbers don't lie.
Fade the trend or ride the wave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna just and it's not saying I'm going against you, white boy. Like you still my guy, bro. You still my guy.
He's finna throw.
Hey, Nick, you know we alternates for the Super Bowl, Nick. Just so you know. In the case that COVID and all that shit happened, man, we alternates. The Super Bowl could be in AT&T. So
if Diggs go down,
boy, you said it like you in Texas, man. Shut up.
What?
I'm just saying, man. We got plugs out there, man. I might hop on the BBX jet. You feel me? The little PJ. You feel me? You know, hey, Thug, if you need
I'm gonna go with the Cardinals too, cause I'm gonna go with the Cardinals too, but a lot to do with what Nick mentioned. I didn't know the exact number, but I know the Cardinals literally are not good at home. Like they literally, like their win-loss record by itself, they aren't good at home, but they play well on the road. They've won 2 games as an underdog with Colt McCoy, and that's just something that they're good at. I don't know why some teams are good from their home team. I mean, their home stadium, but that's just who the Cardinals is. And as much as I like the Rams, I think that a real Cardinals team can do really good on the road for their first game to try and help themselves out. So I'm gonna go with the Cardinals plus the 4, and we're gonna keep it like that. All right. So with that being said, y'all, always remember, this is for entertainment purposes. If you win some money, you know what I'm saying, give us credit, give us a little $1 or $2. You know what I'm saying? That'll help out. But if you lose, you have to put money on things that made sense to us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
3-0, baby.
Mad at us.
No.
Don't get mad at us. All right. With that being said, we up out of here. Y'all be safe. Jaren, appreciate you for checking us out, staying with us. Y'all be safe. I'm back tomorrow for season recap of the Washington football team. Y'all be safe. Peace. Boom.